Hello and welcome to week 25 safeguarding legislation. The two questions for this week come from unit 2 on safeguarding. Let's read them. 2.1.1 Identify current legislation and guidelines for safeguarding the welfare of children and young people, and it says within UK home nation. So we're going to look at the laws and guidelines for England. 2.1.2 Describe full sentences. Describe how safeguarding and welfare requirements can be met through policies and procedures. Okay, so again, there's a worksheet here to help you answer the question. So we'll click on that and have a look at what you've got to do. Here's the worksheet. It's got one page for the identify question and one page for the describe question. Let's have a look. So 2.1.1 is just an identify question. So I've given you the different laws and guidelines that I want you to look at, and I've asked you in this box here to write 2 key facts about each law. You can use bullet points. You can write more if you want to, but 2 for each. So the first one is the Children Act that came out in 1989 and it was updated in 2004. If you click on the link here, it will take you to the information that you need. So read a little bit about the Children Act and put 2 key facts in here. This is the act that came after the death of Victoria Climbié, the little girl who was killed by her, I think it was her auntie, and the police knew about her, the school knew that there were problems, she'd been in the hospital and she had a social worker, but those 4 different agencies were not working together. The 2004 Act came after her death to make sure that all the different agencies work together. Since then, this has been updated by the Children and Social Work Act in 2017. So have a look at this law. I'm sending you here to the NSPCC website to find out about that. 2 facts. You can even copy and paste from the websites if you want to. Oh, here's a good one. Counter-Terrorism and Security Act and the Prevent Duty Guidance. Have a look at those here. 2 bullet points. Now, these 2 are not laws, these are pieces of guidance, but they are statutory guidance, which means schools must follow these by law. They're not the actual laws, but they're guidance that you have to follow. Keeping children safe in education. This is for all of those different agencies that work with children for safeguarding. Can you put 2 key facts from this link? And then, I said it the wrong way round. Keeping children safe in education is actually a document that you should read as an employee in a school or even a volunteer. When you start working in school, they should make you read this document. So have a look at this one. And this is for all the different agencies working together to safeguard children. So this one is for the police, health workers, GPs and nurses, for social workers and for schools. This one, it says keeping children safe in education, is specifically for schools. So 2 bullet points for each one of these. And this one, keeping children safe in education, you should have read when you started working in your school. So please read that for your own good practice. Okay, the second part then is a describe question. And to help you, I've given you an outline here of what you need to write. The question says, describe how safeguarding and welfare requirements can be met through policies and procedures. So these are the laws up here. What is it the school actually has to do, and what do the employees, the staff in the school have to do? So if you put these bullet points into full sentences, put them into your own words, you'll have your answer. So schools have to write a safeguarding policy. They must all have a safeguarding officer and a deputy in case the safeguarding officer is ill or on a training course. You can't wait until they come back to report a concern. Staff and volunteers should read that document, Keeping Children Safe in Education. Here it is up here. Staff should all take part in safeguarding training so that they can recognise signs of abuse and know how to report their concerns to the safeguarding officer. We're going to look at these two in more detail in the next couple of weeks. The school must keep their policies up to date. At least once a year they need to be reviewed. There's always new safeguarding legislation coming out, so the safeguarding officer needs to have training and keep everything up to date and make sure that their staff training is up to date. It's no good doing training at the beginning of the school year and then if you get a new member of staff who joins at Easter, have they had the training? And then all of this should be regularly monitored by the safeguarding governor, and if you get Ofsted, they will come and look at all of this in detail. So that's your answer. Put these into sentences in your own words, and that will cover this describe question. However, it would be good to put in a quote as well. So here's a really nice beginning paragraph from Louise Burnham. I think you could quote from one of these sentences. Any one of these here would be a good quote to put in. Or you could quote from your school's safeguarding policy. Go and find your safeguarding policy on the school website. Put in a quote into your answer and that will make it a really good level 2 answer. Let's go back to Moodle and see what else is on here. So there's your worksheet. But here I've put some more things to help you. Here are the 2 booklets that I mentioned on that worksheet. Keeping Children Safe in Education, that's the one that you should read. And Working Together to Safeguard Children. I've actually given you a young person's guide to this because I think it's easier to understand. And then you could have a look for your own school safeguarding policy. But if you can't find it, you could use this one. And I've said page 3 could be good for a quote. And down here, we're also going to look at eSafety. Here's a link to the eSafety page. Click here. That will take you to the next page you need. Okay, fill in the worksheet, send it to me. Do your best.